Hello, I'm the Jolly Saver, and this is my Premium Bonds and Emergency Fund update for October 2024. If you're new to this video series, I am trying to build up my emergency fund, and that emergency fund is split between premium bonds and a easy access savings account. So I'll start with the premium bonds. We've got info here at the top in case you don't know what premium bonds are. So it's a savings account where you get put into a monthly prize draw. You buy £1 bonds, and each bond has an equal chance of winning. So the more you buy, the more your chances improve, and the odds of winning to one bond are 21,000 to 1. So the amount of money I had in premium bonds at the end of September was £275. It's very small at the moment. It was a lot more, but then I needed money out of my emergency fund for something, so I had to withdraw. But I'm trying to build this up month on month. I'm starting with sort of low amounts while I'm paying for something else, but then once that payment is finished, I'll be able to put a lot more money into my emergency fund. So October started with the 275. I contributed £25. Do we think I won with the £275 that I was holding? So bearing in mind that my probability of winning in the month is 1%, and the number of months it'll take me to win on average with £275 is 76. So do I think I won? Nope, didn't win. So that means that my final holding at the end of October was £300. So I'm glad it's building up. I haven't had any emergencies that I needed to pay for, so didn't have to go in. So that means that the current odds of winning have increased. So it's now 1%, still 1% chance of winning. And the number of months to win is now 70. So then moving on to my savings account. So at the end of September, I had £1,215 in my savings account. Now this one, I'll show you the numbers in a second, but it's a bit of a different story. And I think really what it shows to me is that my behaviour with money in an emergency fund still needs some work. So the starting balance was the 1,215. I contributed over the month 225, but I withdrew 440, and the interest that accrued was £3, meaning the final balance was £1,003. Now, what happened this month was that we had to get some work done in the flat. So it probably classes as an emergency, but what I will say is that it wasn't an unexpected cost. It was basically house maintenance. So we had to have our back door repaired because there was some heavy rain and the rain was getting in. So I had to have someone come out and repair the back door and do a bit of work. So that cost us about £400. So what happened was I withdrew the £400. And then the £225 I contributed, that came later in the month because I tried to rebuild some of the money I had to take out. So I think what my learning is, and I've known this for a while, but I just haven't really acted on it well enough, is that it's really important that I need to understand what this emergency fund is for. So for me, property maintenance is part and parcel of owning our flat. So we know that each year there'll be something that crops up that costs money. It just always is. It might be having to get a new fridge, having to get a new boiler, like all these sort of things that just when they happen, they feel like they come out of nowhere. But really, you can prepare for them month on month by just putting some money aside. And what I'm intending to do going forward, and I'll talk about it on my budgeting video, is I've got a home maintenance fund. That's a little savings pot that I will be contributing money into month on month, and then it means when these things crop up, they don't come out my emergency fund. Because really, what I want my emergency fund to be is for these things that can't really predict. So primarily if I lost my job and I didn't have income, if I had £6,000 in an emergency fund, that would be 6 months of essential living expenses for myself that I could go through before I have to touch any investments, and hopefully 6 months would give us enough chance to get some sort of other work. So then the summary across my premium bonds and savings account, so it'll be no surprise that this number is going to go down, but at the end of September I had £1,490, so £300 now in premium bonds, but only £1,000 in my easy access savings account. So therefore the final balance is £1,303. So I think what my plans are going forward, so even though I really want to be overpaying my mortgage and I really want to be building my investments in my stocks and Series ISA, I think my priority over probably the next few months to next year is building up this emergency fund alongside building up my home improvement fund, home maintenance fund basically. So really having that money flexible alongside my emergency fund, like my sinking funds that are there for those things. So I don't really want to just focus on my emergency fund and not build up that other fund, because what will happen is that things will crop up and I'll have to jump and take stuff from my emergency fund straight away, whereas really it should be coming from my sinking fund. So that is my priority going forward, and yeah, I'm really focused on it because I know peace of mind wise, if I've got 6,000, so my idea is to have 3,000 in my premium bonds and 3,000 in my easy access savings. And then I think what I want to do is leave that to one side. So I think there's a temptation to just keep building this up and up and up. But the problem, it's not a problem because it's good to have more money, but the more I touch the account by adding stuff in, it might sound daft, but the more I'm likely to spend money from that account. Whereas really, I think what I want to do is once I've got these two balances, once I've got overall 6,000 between these two, I want to say, right, that's my emergency fund for when I lose my, I don't want to say when, shouldn't be pessimistic, but if I lose my job, that's the £6,000 that I've got set aside that I can use if that situation happens. And then going forward, it's really the unplanned expenses that aren't that lose a job scenario that really should be covered in my sinking funds. So my idea will be to focus, instead of focusing on building up this emergency fund, focusing on, are my sinking funds adequate? So do I have enough in my house maintenance fund? Do I have enough in my annual bills fund, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's things like that where I think I want to just change my mindset a bit from having this emergency fund being a catch-all where any little thing that comes up, I need a new shower head on my shower. Oh, well, I'll take that from an emergency fund. Well, no, that's not really an emergency. You could have planned for it. So that's a bit of my waffling this morning. But I find it really interesting when people give their comments and views on how they handle their money. So as always, drop it in the comments box down below, and then I'll be uploading a video in the next couple of days which is just summarizing October, which is month 12 of my financial freedom challenge, and I'll be covering kind of where I am on that journey and how the past 12 months have been, and it'll be interesting to see what those figures look like and what progress I've made over the past year. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.